In most of the pieces, I like to use the objects with all their meanings, use them as a language in a sentence and try to create new sentences or new stories with those objects. The exhibition has two parts. Here in the main exhibition space we have the piece called Forest, and on the top floor exhibition space we have a new series of paintings called Heavy Eyes, which is paintings with makeup on the heavy metal lead. Forest, it's a German title. It means like an agricultural forest, like trees to be used for production. And I thought it's nice to bring something from the outside, from the nature, to make a contrast to the White Cube exhibition space. The first idea was, it was an image of trees upside down, hanging in the space. For me, this piece is somewhere between very poetic, very light, and on the other hand, pretty brutal, like trees upside down. And I like that this piece is in the gap in between, and it's open to the reflections of the viewer. Now the exhibition looks very light. You don't see all the effort behind. It's like an engineering construction, like connected to the walls of the space, metal beams, and on each beam there are motors hanging, which make the trees rotate very slowly. So it's also like coming together, something very industrial, man-made, like machines, and on the other hand, nature's. On the third floor, it's called Heavy Eyes. It's paintings made with cosmetics, eyeshadow, and it's painted on lead, on the metal. So lead is supposed to be very heavy, it's toxic, and it also creates like a big contrast in between the material used to paint cosmetics and the material which the eyeshadow is painted on, the lead. So the light, the beauty, the glamour, and on the other hand, again, like a very heavy industrial material. The idea is very much connected to my last show I did at Proyectos Monclova. I showed masks made from cardboard. They looked very light and then casted in heavy materials like iron and bronze. So it's about the masks, about what you hide behind the masks. And I think also those paintings are about makeup, which refers to the masks. It can be very beautiful and light and glamorous, but then there is a question what you have behind. Sometimes the heaviness and sometimes the sadness. And that's what those paintings reflect. And on the first hand, they look like very minimal, like almost abstract minimalist paintings. But by the use of eyeshadow and the cosmetics, they become like portraits and very personal. I think with all those pieces about contrasts, about contrast of nature and man-made space, of lightness and heaviness, and I think that's also the reason why we decided to put those pieces together, because they both open up like a big gap and they all work within the gap, and they open up the biggest possible screen for the viewer to reflect about what's happening and going on.